Yeah, really.
At Walt Disney World is pleased to present the Wakefield High School Starlighters. School Starlighters from Wakefield, Massachusetts. Having the rest of the fun tomorrow.
Now, we had a fight.
Jeff, over here! Here, let me see that map. Here's Argentool.
As I remember, that should be on the left. And I don't remember.
It is. And here's Braymore.
Should be on the right.
It is. Now where the hell are we?
What's in the middle?
Nothing.
That's where we are.
In nothing?
Yes, and for a fellow with my potentialities, this is an ideal location. We'll find our way out when the sun comes up.
Well, a fine couple of game hunters we are. We come all the way over here from New York, and the first night out we get lost.
Maybe we took the high road instead of the low road. You want a drink?
No.
Good. That leaves more for me.
Didn't you tell me you were going to cut down on that stuff, Jeff?
Yes, I did. But I'm a terrible liar. Besides, it doesn't pay. I remember one time I was going with this wonderful girl, and she used to plead with me to give it up. So one day I did. And then we discovered we had nothing more to talk about, so we broke up.
There's something about this forest that gives me the feeling of being in a cathedral.
Well, if we were, I'd know where the exit was.
You don't believe in anything, do you, Jeff?
Of course I do.
Really? What?
Practically anything I can understand. Anything that's real to me. Like things I can touch, taste, hear, see, smell, and swallow.
But what about the things you don't understand?
I dismiss them.
Oh, that must make everything very easy, doesn't it?
Comfortable is the word.
I envy you, Jeff.
Why?
You seem so satisfied.
I am. Aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Well, that's the silliest thing I've ever heard. You've got a fine job, and you're engaged to a fine girl, and you're lost in a fine forest. What more do you want?
I don't know, but something seems wrong, especially between Jane and me. And that makes everything seem wrong. Look how I postponed getting married. I just can't get myself to that altar.
I don't know what could be wrong about it. She's young, attractive, fits smack into your niche in life, and on top of that, she loves you, in just the proper amount, too.
What is the proper amount?
Enough to make you happy and not enough to embarrass your friends.
Looks ideal, doesn't it? But why don't I see it? I must be lacking somewhere.
Now don't go talking yourself into an inferiority. You don't deserve it.
What do you mean?
Well, most of my friends who have inferiority complexes are absolutely right. They're not as good as everybody else. But someone like you...
Hey, did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Look! Over there!
It looks like a village.
It is!
But I thought you said there were no towns listed on the map around here.
I did! But look! See where that village is? There's a peculiar heavy fog all around it.
And there's no Mr. McNally.
Only around the village. Let's walk over to it. It can't be too far from there. Come on!
Wait till Rand McNally hears about this.
I'm selling there at the fair, laddie. The fair. And for Sarah Butter there at the fair, laddie.
Sandy's booth. I'm selling the sweetest candy here that ever should close the tooth. I eat it myself and there's no doubt, creamy and good and thick. So laddies, I hope you'll buy me out. It's making me kind of sick.
I'm selling there at the fair, laddie.
Come on,
That's what I'm selling there at the fair.
come on, Eden. Come on, Eden. Come into the
I'm selling a bit of milk and cream from Visit and ye will find the finest milk and cream that ever came out the cow. The finest it is, the price of all. Milk and cream and that. There's nothing to do but sell it all. The cow when I take it back.
From
I'll give him enough wool for a pair of trousers for enough extras in it.
Aye, Father.
Good morning to you, Mr. McLaren.
Good day, Archie.
And good morning to your two bonny daughters.
Good morning, Mr. Bean.
What would you be looking for, Miss Fiona?
A waistcoat for my father for the wedding.
Of course. You and young Charlie Dalrymple are getting married this evening, aren't you, Miss Jean?
Aye, Mr. Bean.
Well, if you had to pick someone other than my son, Harry, I'm glad he's a lad as fine as Charlie.
Aye, Mr. Bean.
You must be as happy as a lark in the glen.
Aye, Mr. Bean. As you see, Mr. Bean, Jean is a wee bit short of words today. Father says I shouldn't talk so much. He says when I speak I sound so happy that he finds it annoying.
Is that what you said, Mr. McLaren?
Archie, I did. Besides, when a lass gets married, she must get used to listening, not talking.
I didn't think Charlie will have trouble with Miss Jean here. She's a good maiden.
Archie, all maidens are good. Then tell me where all the bad wives come from. Friends, gather round.
Aye, aye.
Mr. Lundy has written upon this parchment a few reminders. He asked me to hang it in the public square where you all may see it. And be reminded.
Aye.
This is the second day of our blessing, and this is to remind ye of the obligations we've so gratefully accepted.
Aye.
Now the boundaries of our village are, to the east, the bridge. To the west, the old Kelp road. To the north, the stone fence at the edge of the forest. And to the south, Loch Harold. Let no one cross, or we shall be ungrateful before God, and night shall fall upon us forever.
Aye.
So I shall hang it in the square as I told Mr. Lundy I would.
Your father likes to take charge of things, doesn't he, Miss Fiona?
Aye, especially after everything's been done. Would you have a waistcoat of this that would fit him?
I think so.
Hello, Harry.
Hello, Jane.
How are you today?
How do you expect me to be? This is your wedding day, isn't it?
I'm truly sorry.
Well, dinna be. If anybody's going to pity me, let it be me. Trapped forever without she in this peasant village.
Oh, what did Angus say, Harry?
I forgot.
Hello, Harry.
Hello, Fiona. Just isn't it fair for Charlie Dalrymple to be wedding Eugene. He's got everything. School in Edinburgh, and now ye. And I got nothing.
Here, Harry, take this material to the house and see if there's a waistcoat of it there.
Nothing but to be doing this all of my life.
And why didn't you pay attention to Maggie Anderson? You know she's a yearning for you.
I dunno want Maggie, Father.
Harry, come back here.
Fiona, I feel so sorry for her. I know, darling. Mr. Beaton, you didn't hate me for not loving Harry, do you?
No, Miss Jean, it is not your fault. I sometimes feel that the only woman that could have loved Harry and helped him was his mother, rest her soul.
Come, Jean. You're going to spend time with your father today. And Fiona, you remember to buy all that's needed for the wedding supper.
I will, Father.
Remember, just what's needed. I aim on this occasion to be hospitable, not philanthropic. Come, Jean.
You'll send the waistcoat up to the house, Mr. Beaton.
Aye, Miss Fiona.
Good morning, Fiona.
Good morning, Meg. I'll jug a cream, please.
Mr. McGuffey will be pleased 'tis the last buying for a change.
Why?
When the lads come shopping, they look so handsome. I didn't like to ask them for money.
But you'll never make a profit doing that.
No, but I make lots of friends. Fiona, when are you going to think about marriage for yourself?
Oh, when I find someone who makes me think of it.
And you didn't find anyone up till now that make you think of it?
No, you see, I didn't want to just get married.
Aye.
I think you should only do it when you and your lad want to stay together fiercely. And getting married is the only way to do it that's proper.
That's an unusual idea, Fiona.
Everyone knows, so try to be married before 25. So she'll agree to most any proposal. All he must be him a man and a man. I hold a dream and there's no compromising.
Could you tell us where we are?
Of course we can tell you. You're in Brigadoon.
Brigadoon?
Aye.
That's funny. There's no town called Brigadoon on the map.
I shouldn't be surprised.
You mean you know it isn't on the map?
Aye.
It's a little snobbish of you, don't you think?
Why isn't it on the map?
For good and sound reasons.
What are you all dressed up for? Is this the day you take pictures for postcards?
We're not dressed up, laddie.
You mean you always go around with all those clothes on?
No, not always.
Now, come on, somebody. What's going on here? What is this?
We're having a fair.
Oh. Is that milk you're selling there?
Hi, it is.
Can I buy some? I'm thirsty. We've been walking all night.
Well, I'll have to see your money first.
What?
What did you give him, a hunk of uranium?
Just a shilling. What a loony layout this is.
It is very interesting, sir, but it does me no good.
What do you mean it does you no good? Sell me something and it will.
I'm sorry, but I cannot sell you anything. However, if you're thirsty, I could give you some milk.
Never mind, I don't want any favors.
I see from the coin you're from England.
No, we're Americans.
You're American.
I am. He's from Georgia. Come on, boy.
Oh, no, wait, please. We didn't mean to act so strangely. We're just a wee bit taken aback. People didn't come here very often.
Well, I can understand why. You people stare at us as if we just dropped in from another world. Does that amuse you?
Aye, very much.
Quiet, Meg.
Obviously the daughter of two first cousins.
If you've been walking all night, you must be tired and hungry. Wouldn't you like some food to eat? And perhaps a place to lie down before you start back?
That's very nice of you, thank you.
Good. Oh, my name is Fiona McLaren.
I'm Tommy Albright. Oh, and this is Jeff Douglas.
How do you do, sir?
I'm Meg Brocky.
I'm glad you're happy about it.
There's a little tavern on the next street where you can get some food.
I'll take you to it.
Go ahead, Jeff. I'll call the inn first.
Excuse me, sir, but is Miss Meg going to be taking care of you?
I think so. Why?
Well, I just happen to have an extra pair of plaid trousers here, and if after you leave the tavern, if Miss Meg should take you someplace to rest, and you happen to rip your own on a thistle, I'd be more than happy to replace them for you.
Thanks, old man, but I don't expect to get stuck.
You didn't know it, laddie, but you're stuck already.
You tend to selling, Mr. Beaton.
What a place. Is there a phone around here?
A phone?
Yes.
I didn't think we had one.
No phone?
No, sir.
Tell me, what's so strange about this place?
Nothing, sir. You're the one who's strange.
Charlie! Charlie! There's a bottle of claret. Have a dram of good luck with me.
Hi, Angus.
It's the merry bridegroom's son.
Bridegroom?
Aye, he's marrying my sister this evening.
Oh, good morning, darling.
Good morning, Charlie. Charlie, this is Tommy Albright. He just happened in a few minutes ago.
Oh, well, welcome to you, sir.
Welcome to you.
Here's your dram, Charlie.
Thank you, Angus.
And how about you, sir? Some claret?
Thanks.
I think I'll drink this one to Mr. Forsythe. I just hope he knows how grateful I am to him for postponing the miracle for me.
The miracle?
And may God bless me this evening as much as I would bless him if I were he and he were Charles Dalrymple.
What was that you said about postponing a miracle?
'Tis a toast we have here.
Take it down. I'll explain it to you sometime.
Say, that was wonderful. May I have another?
That was a wedding gesture, sir. From now on, this for sale only.
I'll have to buy some claret and ale for supper. Come on with me and you can have some more.
Fine.
Women's plaids! He's an odd lad, isn't he?
Aye, he has a peculiar accent.
I wonder what American women must be like.
I don't wonder about women anymore, Angus. I'm not allowed to.
Oh, why, that's right, Charlie. You're through with the lassies for good, aren't you?
I used to be a roving lad, a roving and wandering life. I had on any lass I found who would try to tie me down. But then one day I saw a maid who held out her hand and I stayed and stayed. And now across the green, I'll go home with Bonnie Jean. Go home, go home, go home with Bonnie Jean. Go home, go home. I'll go home with Bonnie Jean. In Edinburgh I used to know a lass with an air and her name was Jo. And every night at 10 I would meet her in the glen. But now I'll not see her again, especially not in the glen at 10. For soon across the green I'll go home with Bonnie Jean. go home, go home, go home with Bonnie Jean. Go home, I'll go home with Bonnie Jean. Hello to married men I've known. I'll soon have a wife and leave yours alone. A bonny wife indeed, and she's all I'll ever need. With Bonnie Jean my days will fly, and love her I will till the day I die. That's why across the green I'll go home with Bonnie Jean. Go home, go home, go home with Bonnie Jean. Go home, go home, go home with Bonnie Jean. No, Diddy, I'll be over. Son, I do hope you'll be staying for the wedding supper tonight.
Thanks, but I won't be here that long.
Oh, 'tis a pity.
Charlie, what are we going to do all day?
Rest, Diddy, rest.
He's a nice kid.
Aye, he is that.
It's wonderfully refreshing to see a fellow so enthusiastic about getting married.
Is it so unusual?
I think it is. Look at me. I'm not bubbling over like Charlie, and next month I'm facing the minister.
You're getting married?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, what?
Somehow you didn't seem like the type of lad who would want to settle down.
Oh, I didn't say that. I just said I was getting married.
Why are you then?
The girl wants to.
Is that reason enough?
Sure. Thanks. I don't know how it is in the Highlands, but in my neighborhood, if you've been going with a woman for a while, and she decides she'd like to get married, you better agree with her right away to save yourself a lot of trouble.
Why?
Because if you don't, she'll either torment you till you marry her for a leaf, or she'll be so sweet about it that you'll feel guilty and your conscience will make you do it.
I must say, it didn't sound like you love her very much.
It doesn't, does it?
And it also sounds like a very peculiar land you come from.
Well, believe me, lass, this isn't your usual Hamlet off the highway either. Oh, and by the way, what was that business about Charlie and the man who postponed the miracle?
Oh, that. I'm sorry, I can't say.
But you said you'd tell me later.
I know, but I can't say.
Oh, that's okay. You know, if I stick around this place long enough, I'll probably discover that everybody in it is slightly nutty. Is that possible?
I can't say.
Why not?
Because I didn't know what nutty means.
It means slightly insane.
Well, then I can assure you, we're all far from insane. We're a most blessed group of people here. And I never realized how fortunate we are until I meet someone from the outside. I mean, a stranger to Brigadoon. I didn't know anything about you, but from the little that you said, everything you think, well, I think differently. And I'm also quite certain that what I think is, well, much more pleasant. Now I'm sorry that I said that, but you angered me when you called us insane.
Hey, you don't like me very much, do you?
That's the odd part, Tommy. I like you very much. I just didn't like anything you say.
Fiona?
Hi?
If I stuck around this afternoon, would you take me to the wedding this evening?
Why do you suddenly want to go?
I can't say.
Well, then I'll take you, and I'll be highly pleased you'll be there.
You will? Why?
Because like I just told you, I like you very much.
That's right. You did say that, didn't you?
Now I'll show you someplace where you can lie down and rest.
What are you going to do?
Gather some heather for the wedding.
Where do you do that?
On the hill where the heather is.
May I go with you?
No, I'll do it much faster if I go alone.
I won't bother you, really. Maybe I'm the one who's slightly nutty, but... Can't we two go walking together out beyond the valley of trees, out where there's a hillside of heather, curtsying gently in the breeze? That's what I'd like to do. See the heather, but with you. The mist of May is in the room, and all the clouds are holding still. So take my hand and let's go roaming through the heather on the hill. The morning dew in yonder plays the music with a thrill, and all I want to do is wander through the heather on the hill. There may be other days as rich and rare, there may be other springs as full and fair, but they won't be the same, they'll come and go. For this I know, that when the mist is in the moon, and all the clouds are holding still, sure that there I won't go roaming through the heather on the hill. The heather on the hill.
See? You can say nice things when you want to.
It almost sounded like I was making love to you, didn't it?
Oh, there's a big difference between making love and just being sentimental because you're tired.
Oh, is that what I was being? Sentimental because I was tired?
I think so. Which is very agreeable. It's amazing the glow here, and all the clouds are holding still. So take my hand and let's go roaming through the heather on the hill. The morning dew singing yonder, the blazing music in the rill. Come on
It's a very picturesque view of the Glen.
Thank ye.
What for?
Why, for liking what I brought ye. It makes me very happy.
You get happy very easily, don't you?
Aye.
I haven't been in an open shed like this since I was a boy, which at this point seems a good 2,000 years ago.
You mean you're tired?
Aye, lassie, I'm tired. That's why you brought me here, isn't it? So I can take a nap?
I shouldn't have taken a long walk with fatigue, such a young lad like ye.
A young lad?
Ah, you're very young.
That is either a deliberate lie or wishful thinking. I am ancient, decrepit, and disintegrating rapidly.
Aye.
What's under here, a rock garden?
My father used to sleep on the cot.
That was his second mistake.
He and my mother met in the shed. You see, my mother was a gypsy.
Uh-huh.
And one day she was walking past the shed, and she saw my father asleep on the cot. She liked his looks, and she was a wee bit tired anyhow. So she took off her shoes, sat in the rocking chair, and waited for him to wake up. And it wasn't long after that I was born.
That was one of the sweetest bedtime stories I've ever heard.
You're sure you're comfortable?
Very. Thank you very much. You've been more than kind. And now if you'd like to round out your generosity, buzz off.
You're a blonde, handsome man.
You should see it when I'm rested. I'm almost robust.
I just hate to leave you.
You'd better. When I sleep, I make all sorts of odd noises.
Who told ye? Do ye have a wife?
No, but I was engaged once.
What happened to the lass you engaged to?
She fell in love with a Russian.
A Russian?
Yes.
Russia's in Europe, isn't it?
Yes, more and more.
Oh?
It's not far from here. You just cross the channel and turn left.
You're a winning lad, a right winning lad.
Now look, lass, I'm not sure what you're after, but I don't want to. I want to go to sleep.
But then you see, I'm highly attracted to ye.
Thank you very much. When I wake up, we'll discuss the whole problem. And believe me, you have a problem.
And when I see you lying on the cot, I feel little tadpoles running up my spine.
That's about as repulsive an idea as I've heard in years. You know, if sex were a hobby, you'd be a collector's item.
But I've been waiting for so long.
Go.
Oh, ye men are all alike.
I should certainly hope so.
You're all brutes. You take what you want from it last, and then 'tis farewell.
Get what I want? I can't even get you to go away.
That's what I'm referring to. I thought you were interested in me, and that's why you let me take you here. You misled me.
You certainly have one hell of an imagination. Can you think of one good reason why I, a strange man, should be interested in you, a strange woman, and at this hour of the day?
Of course I can, because you're a lad, and I'm a lad.
With that philosophy, you must have had a provocative career.
Aye, I've had a great many heartbreaks.
I don't doubt it at all.
At 16 years, I was blue and sad. Then father said I should find a lad. So I went out to become a wife and found the real love of my life. His name was Chris, and the lad was Michelle. I met him one night picking flowers on the hill. He had lots of charm and a certain kind of touch and a certain kind of eagerness that pleased me very much. So beneath the moon where romance often springs, I gave him my heart and a few other things. I don't know how long that we stayed up on the hill, but the moon had disappeared and so had Christopher Miguel. So I went home and I thought I'd die, till father said make another try. So I went out to become a wife and found the real love of my life. He came from the lowlands that he. I saw him and knew he was perfect for me. Just one thing that puzzled me and it always will, was he told me he had heard about me from his friend McGill. We quick fell in love and went down by the creek. The next day he said he'd be back in a week, and I thought he would, for now how was I to know that of all the lowland laddies there was never one as low. I told my father the awful truth. He said, what difference if got your youth? So I went out to become a wife and found the real love of my life. Oh, he was a poet to rhyme with me. I saw him and knew he was perfect for me. He read me my all the battles he won. He wasted his time telling me about his fight. For one look at him decided me not to put up a fight. We skirmished for hours that night in the glen, and I found the sword had more might than the pen. But while I was drunk and I snore to my dismay, and he thought I was a bugle and got up and marched away. My pa said, daughter, there must be one, someone who's true or too old to run. So I'm still looking to be a wife and found the real love of my life. Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out, Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. Back home, tonight away she goes. Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out, Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. The town alone, tonight away she goes. What with all her clothes, all her these and those, why do you suppose Jeannie never grows? Aching for her nose, rivets for her bones, crying for her bones, scissors for her toes. Back home, tonight away she goes. Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out, Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. Back home, tonight away she goes. Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out, Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. The town alone, tonight away she goes.
Hi, Charles McPherson Dalrymple. Tonight the founder of a new clan. Where's Jeannie?
Upstairs!
Hi.
Hey there now, Charlie. You're not supposed to see Jeannie for the wedding. Brings bad luck.
Oh, really, sir?
Here's the Bible. Take it and sign it. Write down the name of my dear departed wife.
Hi, Mr. McLaren.
May I enter, Mr. McLaren?
Yes, Harry, come in.
Here, I've brought your waistcoat.
Thank you, Harry. It's good to see you. Wait a minute, lad.
What for?
Why didn't you take my hand? I'm not your enemy.
You may not mean to be, but ye are. And so is everyone else in this town.
What is it, lad? Why do you go about hating everybody?
I couldn't get through this day of seeing her marry someone else if I didn't. What can I do? What could anyone do but hate when you realize your life didn't mean a damn? I can't go to the university and make something of myself, and I can't have Jean. So there's nothing left to do but hate everything and everybody in this cursed town.
You'll never find peace by hating, lad. It only shuts you off more from the world. And this is only a cursed town if you make it so. The rest of us, it is a blessed place.
Well, ye can keep it.
Well, all done. Who is that?
My waistcoat came.
Hi. Jeannie!
Charlie, please go away. I want to come out.
You know, obey her, lad. You'll spoil her.
Jeannie!
Charlie, please go away.
Jeannie! Because they told me I can't behold ye till wedding music starts playing. To ease my longing, there's nothing wrong in me standing out here and saying, come to me, bend to me, kiss me good day. Darling, my darling, 'tis all I can say. Just come to me, bend to me, kiss me good day. Give me your take them away. Come, dearie, near me so ye can hear me. I've got to whisper this softly, for though I'm burning to shout my yearning, the words come tiptoeing off me. Oh, come to me, bend to me, kiss me good day. Darling, my darling, 'tis all I can say. Just come to me, bend to me, kiss me good day. Give me your lips and don't take them away. Oh, come to me, bend to me, kiss. my longing, there's nothing wrong in me standing out here and saying, oh, come to me, bend to me, kiss me good day. Darling, my darling, 'tis all I can say. Just come to me, bend to me, kiss me good day. Give me your lips and don't take them away.
time for you to dress already.
Aye, so come.
You see, I told you we were up far too long.
I know, but I'm not sorry.
Wait for me. I shan't be but a few minutes.
Fiona.
Aye?
Where are you, Tommy?
Over here, Jeff. Come on in. Ha! What the hell happened to you?
Thistles.
What?
Never mind, it's a professional secret. My pants will be ready before we leave. And another thing, disregard all that rubbish about Scottish frugality. Their generosity is overpowering.
Well, how do you feel?
Surprisingly well. How about you?
I've never felt better in my life.
You too.
Make the sun give the power, for I can swing one moment and be home in half an hour. Make the alligator drive, for I'm alone and alone. What a day this has been, what a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell sounds, I could swear I was falling. I would swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. When we walked up the parade,
Almost like being in love. But your heart linked in mine, made the world kind of mine.
it was almost like being in love.
The music of life seems to be
Like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal,
I could swear I was falling.
I would swear I was falling. It's almost like being in
Hand me that basket, please.
Right, darling.
Darling?
Thank you, dear.
Well, when do we start back?
There's no hurry. Let's take around for the wedding. After all, how often do you...
What's the matter?
I must be a little touched. Listen to this. Married, Elizabeth Lang to Andrew McLaren, July 2nd, 1721.
What's so amazing? People used to get married then.
But wait a minute. Children. Fiona, born October 10th, 1723. And Jean, born April 8th, 1730. Fiona was born and sister 6 years younger, named Jean.
Well?
But those are the two sisters in the Bible.
Ridiculous.
You know that?
Yeah, so?
Do you know the name of the guy she's marrying?
They told me at the tavern, someone named Dalrymple.
Well, get this. Married, Jean McLaren to Charles McPherson Dalrymple, May 24th, 1748. Now what do you say?
Congratulations.
Wait a minute. No Brigadoon on the map, no phones in the whole town, and thanks to Mr. Somebody for doing something about a miracle, and one or two other things I passed over while I was out with Fiona this afternoon.
Come to think of it, that hyperthyroid I was with never heard of Haig and Haig.
I don't get it. I'm beginning to feel a little like a damn fool.
What are you getting so worked up about? If it makes them happy to disregard 200 years of human bing bang, let them.
But you don't understand, Jeff. I've just spent the most wonderful day of my life, and now I run into this. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It does to me. It just means that batty people relax you.
She's not batty. She can't be. Fiona, there's got to be a logical explanation for this. Even logical enough for you. Fiona!
They don't need to explain anything to me. I don't care.
What, Tommy?
Come here.
Tommy, what is it?
Is this your name here in this Bible?
Someone seems to have loused up your books.
Well, what does it all mean? Is there an explanation or isn't there?
There is, but I can't tell you.
Well, who can? I'd like to know.
You'll have to speak to the Dominie.
The who?
Mr. Lundy, our schoolmaster.
Where does he live?
Down the road, in a tree.
He doesn't live in a tree, Mr. Douglas. Mr. Lundy is a great man. All right, Tommy, I'll take you to him. I hardly wanted to. I was hoping we could have this day together.
What has that got to do with it?
It is going to be so hard for you to believe what you hear. The thing is of the autograph, and you'll need my notes.
Maybe I will, and maybe I won't. Come on.
Is it informal or should I wear my three-cornered hat?
Come on, I said.
Why, hello, Fiona. What a pleasant surprise.
I'd like you to meet Mr. Tommy Albright and Mr. Jeff Douglas.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
How do you do, sir?
Good afternoon.
Where do you gentlemen come from?
We're from New York.
I was wondering if you'd be good enough to tell them about Brigadoon. They've heard and seen a good deal, and they're very perplexed indeed.
Perplexed is right. Oh, thank you.
How do you stand, Fiona?
If I may, I'd love to hear it all again.
Of course.
From what I gather, nobody can talk about anything around here except you. Is that right?
No, that's wrong. Mr. Forsyth could have told you.
Forsyth? I've heard of him, but I didn't meet him.
Likely not. I think he's dead.
That would stand in the way, I suppose.
Let me warn you, before I begin, it's what I'm going to tell you you wouldn't believe.
Why won't I believe it?
Well, because what happened in Brigadoon was a miracle, and most folk didn't believe in miracles. Miracles require faith, and faith seems to be as dead as...
Mr. Forsyth?
Aye, lad. Now, if an outsider who chanced to come to Brigadoon were to hear the tale from the lips of someone in the village, he would think that lasser lad was daft, and that would lead to many unpleasant and humiliating things for that lasser laddie, now wouldn't it?
I suppose so.
I suppose so. So, only I can talk about the miracle to strangers.
And you don't suppose anyone would think you're crazy?
Ah, you very well might. But 2.5 me, I just pity you. Now, the miracle happens, let's see, what's today?
Friday.
Friday. That means it happened exactly 200 years ago. 200 years ago, the Highlands of Scotland were plagued with witches. Wicked sorcerers who were taking the Scottish folk away from the teachings of God and putting the devil in their souls. I don't suppose you have such women in your world.
Witches?
Yes, we still have them. We pronounce it differently.
Well, it didn't matter that they weren't real witches, because you and I know there was no such thing. But their influence was very real indeed. Now, here in Brigadoon, we had an old minister of the church named Mr. Forsyth, and a good man he was.
The kindest man in Scotland.
I believe he was. No man ever loved his parish as did Mr. Forsyth. But he was growing old, and it grieved him to think that one day soon he would have to leave those so dear to him. But most of all, he worried about the witches. They hadn't visited Brigadoon yet, but he knew there was a band of them coming our way. So he began wondering if there wasn't some way he could protect the people of his village.
Not only from them, but from all the evil that might come to Brigadoon from the outside world after he died.
What a kind man.
He spent many days walking through the glen thinking. And if you passed by his house at any hour of the night, you would have seen the candles lit. Mr. Forsyth sitting in his chair thinking. Then, one day he came to me and told me he'd decided to ask God for a miracle.
This part is so nice I could cry thinking about it.
Now, he consulted with me because he knew I have a highly logical mind, and he figured as long as he was going to ask for a miracle, it might as well be a well-organized miracle. So, for many days I walked with him through the glen, and for many nights I sat with him by candlelight. Finally, Mr. Forsyth decided what he was going to pray for. And on an early Wednesday morn, right after midnight, Mr. Forsyth went out to a hill beyond Brigadoon and made his prayer to God. There, in the hush of a sleeping world, he asked God that night to make Brigadoon and all the people in it vanish into the Highland mist. Vanish, but not for always. It would all return just as it were for one day every 100 years. The people, they would go on leading their customary lives, but each morning when they awakened, it would be 100 years later. And when we awoke the next day, it was 100 years later.
My God!
You see, in this way, Mr. Forsyth figured there would be no change in the lives of the people. They just wouldn't be in any century long enough to be touched by it.
You mean you people go to bed at night, and when you wake up the next morning, it's 100 years later?
Aye.
So every day is 100 years later?
Aye.
What happened to the minister?
We never saw him again. You see, Mr. Forsyth realized that to ask for such a miracle, some sacrifice would have to be made, and he wanted to be the one to make it. Now, what do you suppose would be the greatest sacrifice that he could offer? Well, it was to be separated afore his time from the ones he loved. That's why he went out to a hill beyond Brigadoon, where, the miracle granted, he would never see Brigadoon again.
And all this happened 200 years ago?
Aye, lad, which, you see, is only 2 days ago to us. He had intended to ask for the miracle on Tuesday, but Charles Dalrymple was in school in Edinburgh and was not due back till Tuesday date. Mr. Forsyth, not wanting anything to go wrong with the wedding, postponed praying till Charlie got back.
Wasn't that sweet of him?
Let me ask you something. Suppose somebody around here gets fed up and wants to leave. Then what?
He cannot leave.
You mean I've got to stay here now?
No, lad. But, according to Mr. Forsyth's contract with God, if anyone of Brigadoon leaves, the miracle is broken for all.
And?
When the people go to sleep that night, Brigadoon will disappear forever.
Look, I'm not saying I believe all this, but just for argument's sake, say a stranger, like me, came to Brigadoon and wanted to stay.
Aye, lad, he could. Mr. Forsyth provided for that.
He didn't miss a trick, did he?
No, lad, he didn't. A stranger can stay in Brigadoon if he loves someone here. Not just Brigadoon, mind you, but someone in Brigadoon, enough to want to give up everything to be with that one person. Which is as it should be, lad. Because after all, if you love someone deeply, anything is possible.
I think that's the part I like the best.
Shouldn't you be thinking about changing for the wedding, Fiona?
Hi, I had. Tommy, will I see you later?
Yes, I'll be here.
Thank you, Tommy.
I think I want to stick around to see that this place evaporates like you say.
I must hurry now. Thank you, Mr. Lundy.
She's a dear lass.
I'm finding that out. Tell me, Mr. Lundy, you're all perfectly happy living here in this little village?
Of course, lad. After all, sunshine can peep through a small hole.
But when you go to bed at night, what is it like?
Well, for me it is like being carried on shadowy clouds to some far-off cloud, and there I rest till morning. Only sometimes I fancy I hear strange voices.
Voices?
Aye, lad, they say no words I can remember, but their voices filled with a fearful longing, and often they seem to be calling me back. I've pondered it when I'm awake, and I think I have a feeling I'm here in the outside world. There must be lots of folk out there like a Brigadoon. Oh, 'tis wedding time. going to be a wedding. We have no minister in Brigadoon now. In most villages, this would be a calamitous thing, but we know it is a blessing. When there is no minister present, it is perfectly proper, according to the laws of Scotland, for two people to be wed by sincere and mutual consent. There need be nothing in writing. All that's necessary is the promise of love as long as you both are on earth. Go ahead, lad.
I shall love you till I die, and I'll make all effort to be a good husband to you.
And so much will I try to be a fine and loving wife.
Well, kiss her, lad. Mr. Forsyth, I know, would have loved to be here, but if you're both good and true to each other, you cannot help but live in the grace of God. And Mr. Forsyth could have asked for no more than that.
Are we married now, Mr. Lundy?
Are we married now, Mr. Lundy? Aye, lad, you're married.
The bride!
A time! A time! A time!
The bride!
A time!
won't you? Too much. I'm leaving, Brigadoon. It's the end of all of us. The miracle's over.
I'll go down to the creek, and by God, if I see him, I'll throw him in his search the hill to the peak. Find him sad that tomorrow will never, never come. Run and get him, run and get him, run and get him now, or he won't plow another meadow. Go and stop it, go and stop it, run, ye Highland men, or ye won't get another day.
Let's separate. You go right and I'll go left. He can't be too far from here.
If he comes into sight, hold him fast, many lives are depending on it. Is the God then tonight? They must know that tomorrow is really going to come. Run and get him, run and get him, spread your human net, but don't forget that time's again, yeah. Go and stop it, go and stop it, run, ye Highland men, or ye won't get another day. Nobody wanted for Hattie to be sick now. All that we wish was to keep her from leaving the town. In the eye of her friend, there's no sense for us all to be sad about it. This was clear, God's own hand. And we all should be grateful and glad about it. So let me that it's true, that you said. Don't tell the rest that tomorrow the beat is dead. Nobody's dead tomorrow. Tell them all the swear. As you know the sorrow of this world.
She's all right now. He was stopped.
Oh, thank heaven. Was he hurt bad?
No, dear, he just scratched a bit. There's no time for grieving now. We must go on with the wedding supper.
He didn't get away, Mr. McLaren?
No, Archie.
Then where is my son? I want to see him. I thank God you stopped him from his horrible intention, but I want to see him.
He's all right, Archie. He's in good hands. Besides, 'tis best to be left alone for a while. Come, join us for a bit of supper.
I'm too ashamed for him. I cannot join you.
But Archie, come, everybody. Back to the glen for some food and ale. The alarm is over.
Angus, have you seen Tommy?
The American, Fiona? Why, no. I didn't think he came back with us.
Come, Jean.
Fiona!
Tommy, I thought you might have gone.
No, I didn't go. I couldn't.
You're all right?
Yes, of course I'm all right.
I'd have died if anything had happened to you. I love you so.
You...
I
But how can you be so sure in just one day?
didn't know. It's just when a lass falls in or out of love, she knows it right away.
I wish my emotions could be that clear to me.
Why?
Because I have the sensation I'm hearing my own secret being told.
You mean you think you're in love with me?
Think? What could this thinking do? If I thought about it, it wouldn't make any more sense than the miracle. But what I feel is something else.
And what do you feel, Tom?
This is hard to say, but as I wandered through the lane, I felt for just a fleeting moment that I suddenly was free of being lonely. Then I closed my eyes and saw the very reason why. I saw a man with his head bowed low, his heart in a place to go. I looked as I thought to myself with a sigh, there but for you go I saw a man walking by the sea, alone when the tide was here. I looked as I thought as I watched him go by, there but for you go I. Lonely men around me, trying not to cry, till the day you found me, there among them was I saw a man who had never known a love that was all his own. I looked as I thanked all the stars in the sky, there but for you
Oh, Tommy. Tommy, darling.
I love you, Fiona. I guess that's all there is to it.
I've wanted to hear you say it, even if it is at the last minute like this.
The last minute,
Hi. Soon after the end of our day.
and then you... But Fiona, I can't leave you. Not now, I can't. Wait a minute. Didn't Lundy someone said someone could stay if they love someone enough?
Hi.
Well, that's for me. Where do I go? Who do I talk to? Where do I get my passport to disappear?
Tommy, I think we could see Mr. London.
I don't want to be without you ever again. I couldn't be.
I saw a man who had never known a love that was all his own. I looked as I thanked all the stars in the sky, there but for you go I.
out to Edinburgh for Dublin. The lad is off to love to me, no other but my pa. And by the strangest gift or life, the woman was my ma. McKenna, McGowan, McGraw, McKinney, McNeil, McRae. Aye, all of the folk at the village were there for my wedding day. Tom had asked him from McPhee, and Matt had come with May McGee. And May invited Nighty to my mother's wedding day. And up the road came Ed McKean with half the town of Aberdeen. Aye, everyone was on the scene on mother's wedding day. At 5:45, everybody was there, waiting around the room. McVicker, McDougall, McDuff, and McCoy, everybody but the moon. And as the hours drifted by, the men got feeling kind of dry and thought they'd take a nip, but I will away toward the moon. And while the men were dipping in, the ladies started on the gin. And soon the room began to spin, and all was wedding day. And all of a sudden, the liquor was gone, the gin and the whiskey and gone. And all of a sudden, the wedding affair become a bonny brawl. For Pete McGraw and Joe McPhee began to fight for May McGee. For May McGee and Jan McKee were wooing in the hall. The golden tip was John McVeigh, they used to pour the service free. And everyone was fighting in a mother's wedding day. McDuff and McVinney were playing a game and using McCoy for the ball. McKenna was singing the bridal bouquet, McNeil hung on the wall. When finally my father came, his eyes were at his nose aflame. He didn't even know his name, he was talking off the ball. The people were lying all over the room, looking as if they were dead. And mother uncovered the minister quick and she told him go ahead. The time is on for Bill McRae, the mother kneeled on John McKay. The preacher stood on John McRae, that's how they all was. It was the sight beyond compare, and I ought to know, for I was there. And everyone was taking turns on the wedding day.
Hi.
Jeff, I'm not going back with you.
Just for the record, what are you talking about?
I'm staying here.
You're pulling my bunny leg, aren't you?
No, I've never been more serious in my life. I tell you, Jeff, in just one day, I feel more a part of her and this place than I've ever felt about Jane or anybody or anything back home.
My dear boy, that's because it is one day. But don't you realize if you stay here, it's for always?
I know.
And do you know how long always is around here?
I know, Jeff.
This can't be a trial marriage, because you can't change your mind after trying it out for 600 or 700 years.
I won't ever want to.
You're absolutely positive that there'll never come a time when you'll miss your family, your friends, the life you belong to? How can you know that now?
Because, well, here's where I know you'll think I'm crazy. Because I believe in her. And what's more, I believe in this place.
You do not. You just want to. This Highland voodoo town makes no more sense to you than it does to me. So how can you believe in it when you don't even understand it? When you leave here in a few weeks or even a few days, you'll forget all about it. You won't feel a thing. That's the way a dream is.
What do you mean, dream?
That's what this is, a dream. Why, even now you don't feel anything. You just think you do.
How do you know?
Because I do. Did you see that funeral here a moment ago?
Yes. Why?
I'm responsible for it.
What do you mean?
Harry Beaton. I killed him.
You did what?
I killed him. Accidentally, of course, but nevertheless, I killed him. Out in the forest tonight, he suddenly rushed past me from behind a bush. Without even thinking what I was doing, I stuck up my foot. And down he went, and I heard his head hit a rock with a very nasty thud.
My God, Jeff, I'm really sorry.
What for?
You must feel half dead inside.
On the contrary, I don't feel a thing.
You actually don't feel anything?
Nothing, except like going home.
But why don't you?
Because this is a dream. A good one for you and a bad one.
Wait a minute, will you?
You see, I've confused you, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
And if you really believed as much as you think you do, I couldn't do that. I'll wait for you outside the town.
Tommy, what did he mean by that?
Fiona tells me you want to stay, lad.
Tommy, what is it?
It's no good, Fiona. I'm leaving. And it's not because I don't love you. I think I do. But I guess I don't trust my own feelings.
You mean you don't think you can accept everything?
That's it, I guess.
You better hurry, Fiona. There's not much time left. You don't feel ashamed of yourself, Tommy. 'Tis the hardest thing in the world to give everything. Even though it is usually the only way to get everything.
Do you understand it all? No, Fiona, you won't remember that way, and neither will I. You and the world we knew will glow till my life is through, for you're part of me from this day on. Someday if I should love, it's you. see, you mustn't be sorry about anything.
I'm not. In fact, I shouldn't be surprised if I'll be less lonely now than I was before you came. I think real loneliness is not being in love in vain, but not being in love at all.
But it'll fade in time.
No, it wouldn't do that.
I'm sorry, Fiona. This day I had to have no fears and no doubts. And well, goodbye.
Goodbye, Tommy. And never forget, any day or any night, but always and always, I love you. I love you, Tommy. I love you. I love you.
Frank? DDT?
The usual, bourbon.
Why do you say the usual? Have I been drinking it long?
Almost continuously since you got back from Scotland. About 4 months ago.
Well, I just decided I don't like it. It's not nearly as good as the whiskey Mother used to make. Give me some gin.
What'll you have with it?
A little bourbon.
Yes, sir.
What time is it, Frank? I think my watch has stopped.
6:10?
I better be getting home. Give me another drink to take with me. I like to drink portal to portal.
It's just about time for Miss Ashton to be calling.
Who?
Jane Ashton, Mr. Albright's fiancée. Don't tell me you can't remember her.
All right, I won't. What about her?
Well, just about this time every day, she either calls or comes in, or both. All looking for Mr. Albright.
She does, huh?
Yeah, from what I gather, she can't find him.
I'm glad you warned me. I'll drink up and get out of here.
Don't you like Miss Ashton?
Oh, very much. But not when she's stalking Mr. Albright. I tell you, Frank, scratch the surface of any woman and she'll enjoy it.
But where is Mr. Albright?
I don't know. He quit his job about a month ago. Picked up his parcels and vanished. Like Brigadoon.
Like who?
That was the name of my brother who ran away.
Hello, Mr. Albright. Nice to see you.
Hello, Frank.
Tommy! My old friend Tommy!
How are you, Jeff?
It's my old friend Tommy. He's back. Where have you been all month?
Up on a farm in New Hampshire.
A farm? Messing around with all that dirty dirt and all? What were you doing there?
Enjoying myself. Hooray and a soda, please.
Well, if that's what you enjoy, when you get married, why don't you buy one?
I wonder if I ever want to get married, Jeff.
Why?
Because, my dear old sport, I love someone else and I can't get over it.
Oh, that.
And the trouble is, because I can't be with her, I can't be with anyone else. That's why I went away. So many things remind me of her. When I'm with people and they're talking to me, they might say one little word that opens up a door to a memory for me. And then suddenly, I'm a few thousand miles away with her. Then, slowly, I drift back to the conversation. They might ask me a question, and I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I haven't heard a word.
You must be fascinating company.
When I'm alone, it's easier.
Tommy!
Jane?
What a wonderful surprise!
Hello, Jane.
When did you get back?
Hi, Jeff. How have you been, Jane?
Worrying half to death about you.
Fine, Jeff. How are you?
Take a look at you.
I've had a little cold, but other than
I
that...
say, you still look wonderful.
So do you, Jane. Well, I don't want to eat and run. I think I'll go up to my room and have a drink. I'll see you later, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Goodbye. Put it on my bill, Frank.
Your bill, sir, is awfully high.
Yeah, so am I.
Tommy, why didn't you write me?
Nothing to say, I guess. Drink?
Old-fashioned, please. And why didn't you wire me you were coming in? After all, darling, I did think the moment you get into town you'd call me. Or come to me. Or in fact, why didn't you? Would you?
Oh, why, maybe.
You mean you'd even consider it?
What?
Well, commuting 60 miles out of New York.
Oh, no, I don't want to do that.
I didn't think so, and I told Mr. Jackson.
Who?
Herbert Jackson.
Oh, who's he?
I just told you. He's the real estate man I've been working with. I told him you'd give him a call.
I can hardly wait.
Please do. I'm trying so hard to arrange everything. Do you still want Jeff to stand up for you?
Yes, if you can. Why?
Oh, nothing. It's just, he's been so impossible these days. Everybody is just bored to death with him.
Well, I'm not interested in everybody, especially the everybody we know.
You've certainly been antisocial since you returned from Scotland. If you really want to avoid everyone, why don't we take Mr. Jackson's house? It's far away, right on a high, beautiful hill, and then we can...
There's going to be no wedding next month.
You mean you're postponing it again?
No, I'm not postponing it. I'm calling it off for good.
Calling it off?
I can't do it. Ever.
Well, you have a nerve. After all this time I've waited and tried to be patient and put up with your idiotic whims and temperament.
I'm sorry. It's not your fault. You've been wonderfully kind to me. It's just that something strange happened a few months ago, which I can't explain. And now, I don't fit in here anymore.
Well, I think you're going clean out of your mind. But I refuse to stand here and argue with you in this bar. Let's go home and we can... Go home. Mr. Albright, when you're all alone.
You understood, Fiona. I didn't. It's unbelievable. Awful and unbelievable.
What is awful and unbelievable?
To think that somewhere out there, between the mist and the stars, there's somebody I want so terribly. She's not dead. She's only asleep. And yet I'll never see her again.
Did you come all the way over here just to tell me that? You could have told me that on the phone in New York for a nickel.
No. I'll tell you. I had to come back here to see for myself that this place really wasn't here.
It didn't work that way for me. It's become so much of a dream to me now that I'd have to work hard to convince myself it happened at all.
There's a big difference between us.
Tell me about it.
I've found that sometimes what you believe in becomes more real to you than anything you can explain away or understand. God, why do people have to lose things to find out what they mean?
Take one last look and let's get out of here. I got lost in a place like this once.
Okay.